a casual AMA. This is just a good opportunity for us to hang out with y'all, for us to get to know you, you to get to know us, and to build community. So, we are recording this AMA, so anyone who wants to share this with others, there will be a link to it on our YouTube channel at some point in the next 24 hours. Or for those who have missed it, they'll have an opportunity to listen later. So just a rundown of what we're going to be doing. It's myself and JB hosting today, and we're basically going to take questions from you. Then we're going to flip the script and ask you guys some questions. And then we're going to wrap it up with a little segment of My First Crypto. So for any of you guys who have an interesting or funny experience for your first time with crypto, get ready to share those. Okay, I actually just learned today that one of our community members invested like 200 bucks in SafeMoon, and it became well worth over 10 grand. And I think that's pretty cool. And I think to imagine that being your first time in crypto, that would be really amazing. All right, guys. So I do have a few questions from the community that were asked beforehand. So I'll just knock those out of the way, and then you guys can just chime in at any time with whatever other questions you have. So the first one is, when will the 3D fighting game be released? Great question. That the 3D fighting game is going to be released in November. I know it seems like it might be a little while away. We will have a countdown for the games on our website on a gaming page that is being worked on right now, so you guys can always check in and see that. But it could be sooner. So the contract says November, early November. I won't give the specific date, but it could be sooner. Will the token have any use in this first game, or will there be token prizes for competition? So the 3D fighting game that we're going to share a sneak peek for is actually a non-blockchain game. And so the answer to that question is, will the token have use in this first game? Not necessarily. It could in terms of beta testing. We may say, okay, well, if you hold this much of GAL, as we're going through development, we'll say, okay, you guys can test this game because you're holders of GAL. So if there is going to be a blockchain or token component for the 3D fighting one, I think that would be it. But we're still open to other options. Okay. The third question is the blockchain game that is about to be released, and I believe this question is about the NFT fighting game, which is different from the 3D fighting game. They're both fighting games, but one's with NFTs, and another one is just a non-blockchain regular game. So is the blockchain game that is about to be released going to have a play-to-earn function? The answer is yes. For example, if a player wins, will they receive GAL as a reward? So that part of the question is not, we don't have a definitive answer for the second part. There is going to be a play-to-earn function, but we haven't actually decided on what it's going to be, because our understanding is that there's different play to earn mechanics, different ways to go about, incorporating the token or any crypto in a game. And so we're exploring those options. All right. That's it for the questions that I've gotten so far. But I do want to take any questions you guys have. Does anyone have a question?
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Sorry.
Seth over at CryptoScape just posted a link to our thing saying Gallant's having a AMA join here.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, man, we love that group over there. All right. No questions. Let's
Oh,
see.
my question is the blockchain game, the NFT fighting game, that about to release. Is it gonna be on November as well?
Yes, around the same time, could be earlier. We'll be honest, you guys know we're transparent with y'all. We are experiencing a bit of a delay with that. We realize we're going to be needing to onboard some additional developers to help us with that game. And so it may take a little longer. It just depends, but we're in the process of bringing on more help to get that done because it is definitely a priority for us. The NFT fighting game. It's another fun one that we're working on. Does that answer your question, Sebastian?
Um, i- i- is there any estimation of how long the NFT game is about to be released?
Well, we can't say, like there's different components. I mean, we've been working on this game for several weeks now, believe it or not. We signed the contract many weeks ago, and the different components are obviously the coding, the back end, and the front end. Then there's also the design for the NFTs. There's, the structure for the layout of, the website, the integrations. Then there's also the actual details and mechanics. So we've all been working on it, and so we just need a little bit more help. And so at this time, we can't definitively say when the NFT fighting game will come out, but our original goal was for that to be around November 2. So it's possible that we will have two games coming out around the same time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Um, Anyone else? If you have a question, just hold on. I want to get to the part that we all have been waiting for. Okay. So I am going to share the link to our sneak peek right now. And basically, this is on our YouTube channel. It is unlisted, so it's not public yet. I will make it public after our AMA and give a nice little tweet about it. But for now, I'm just sharing it with those listening in on the AMA right now. So if you go to the chat, I'm just gonna paste it in there. And the reason I'm doing it this way rather than streaming it is because I don't want to risk poor quality. Because sometimes streaming is not good, so I'd rather you guys just go to it yourselves on your own devices. So if you guys want, you can take a few minutes to go ahead and check that out, and then you can come back and we'll resume questions. All right, let me see. Anyone have any issues watching that or it not showing?
Working from
Yeah, no, it's fine for me. Thanks, Danny.
Go ahead. What did you say, Darth?
No, it worked fine for me. Thank you. I could see that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good, good. So when everyone comes back, you guys can share your thoughts, and then we'll resume taking any questions. Oh, welcome back, Niels. It's good to see. Guys, I gotta be honest with you. We've been doing this project for over 100 days now. And so obviously that's a long time. It's not something you see with a lot of these, BSC projects. And so we have had a few people come back who were with us in the beginning, who kind of left. I guess it was taking too long for them, but we're in a much better place now than when we started. Like we've done so much more. So it's really nice to see, familiar faces and usernames coming back. And I honestly believe that as we continue to ramp up and we continue to produce our products, we'll not only get a lot of new investors and whatnot, but we'll also see a lot more people coming back who may have left. So I hope everyone got a chance to watch the video. What did you guys think? Any thoughts on that? Hi. All right, I guess no thoughts at the moment.
So it's like a side-scrolling Streets of Rage type game, Sammy. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. Now, this is just a first look. It's not actually what the final product is going to look like. There are going to be different environments, different characters, and whatnot. But it was just really nice to get a first feel of what our fighting game is going to look like.
Cool. What platforms is it coming out on? Is it like?
So this is going to be a mobile game. It will be available on for iOS and Android in the App Store and the Google Play Store. And you don't have to be involved in crypto to play this game. This is our non-blockchain game. So it's kind of cool that we'll have a non-blockchain game and a blockchain game coming out around the same time. All right, so I guess since no one else has anything to say about that, do we have any other questions that you guys like to have answered? You really could ask us anything.
You remember the one that you guys released a picture of, the one with the dragon and a Colosseum? Is that the NFT game?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness, that's amazing though.
Yes, so that is the other game. That game still needs more work. We don't have a first look for that yet. We did have some screenshots that we shared with you, but we're still working on that, and we're still very excited about that. I think it's a great project.
We've actually reached out to try and speed up the process of that one to on more development, because the team that's working on it currently, one guy will just say has some going on, and reaching out to a gentleman that we're already working with, that has proven himself and done great work for us so far. So we're looking at onboarding him onto the NFT project as well, to try to help out. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's all good. We'll get it done. Yeah, but the dates haven't really changed in our mind, but if they do, we would definitely let you guys know. All right. Any other questions
Hi,
before
Sam.
we... Oh, yes, Fedor, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good. What's up?
Hey, I just wanted I guess if you could go over like how does the Gallant token you know tie up with the game? Like what's the relationship between the token and I mean I imagine not the blockchain game, but at least the NFT game that's coming out that it is on blockchain.
That's a great question, and it's a question that a lot of people are asking. And the truth is simply that we haven't decided on that yet because there's a lot of different options. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of different NFT games or blockchain games that do it differently. Some offer, Cardano. Some offer, I don't know, Bitcoin, or they offer their own token, or there's just different ways to go about it. And being that we're in game development, we know that we wanted to have a play to earn feature, a blockchain component, but we haven't decided on what that is. We have a few things in mind, but that really brings me to our next segment, which is us turning the floor over to you guys. We have questions for you. And that's actually our first question. It is, what play to earn mechanics are you a fan of? You guys are asking us what we're doing. Well, we're asking you, what have you seen? What do you like? What do you think is a good idea?
Sammy, I think what he's asking is why do people need to buy the Galleon token, and what is the connection of it to the play to earn game? I think, like for example, the Galleon token can be used to buy armor to make your character stronger. I think that's what he meant.
Okay. Well, for these early games, those decisions haven't been made yet. But for our MMORPG, yeah, you would be able to use Gal to make in-game purchases, to obviously like to upgrade your armor and things like that. We have more specifics on what we want to do with the larger game. These smaller games, we haven't figured that out just yet. But as far as Gallant and why you should hold Gallant, well, will you be eligible for beta testing? Let's see, one second. Hold on a second. I have it written. I'm actually a little out of breath, guys. Bear with me. But no, that's definitely a great question. Um, as I said, we're still working it out and we have time. And so if you guys know of certain ideas that you've seen or that you think work really well, we want to know what you guys think. This is a community driven token and we're not always going to have all the answers. And so we're really relying on y'all to help build this project because it's not just us, the core team, making all the decisions. You guys have an opportunity to have a say in how these games could be made. And so this is a great opportunity for you to share those ideas if you have any. Um, so since we didn't get any answers to those, I'll go to our next question, which is, what do you want to see from us? It's really that simple. What do you guys want to see?
Um, I'm kind of new here, Sammy, so I'm just kind of learning how you do things. The one thing I do like is the fact that you do have these AMAs and they are open, and I like the fact that you've got the iOS and Android game coming out. I think that's a good advertisement for the blockchain game as well. I think it'll get people like wondering more about Gallant and bringing them in. But no, I think you do things really well so far.
Awesome.
Thank you for that. Um, Anyone else have anything to add? Or any other questions or any answers as far as pay to earn mechanics? Because we can do anything. That's the beauty of where we're at. And so, you can let your voice be heard.
I have a suggestion, Sammy. For the NFT game, it's much better if we can integrate the Galleon token to be able to purchase. Yeah, as you said, to make the character stronger, because so that the investor would be would be able to force to not really force would be mandatory for them to buy the token so that they can make their character stronger, and that will raise the price of our coin as well.
Right. Absolutely. And those are things that we're considering. A lot goes into this, and it's it's a work in progress, guys. I just want you guys to know that you can trust us to get those details squared away. And when we do, we will share that with you. It's not something that's impossible. It's just we haven't reached that point yet. And so, any like I said before, now is a good time to share feedback before we actually get to the nitty gritty of implementing, okay, well, you have to hold gal or this much gal or this is what you're going to get. So any ideas you guys have, please feel free. We can come up with them on our own. We just haven't reached that stage of development yet. And when we do, you guys will be the first to know.
We have already talked of doing something along those lines of, they were talking about integrating, Aaron and James were talking about that you must hold gal to purchase one of the NFTs, for the fighting game, and then we even, this is all discussion of like, do we want to do it this way? Do we, like, what's the community to say? And once we get closer to those, having stuff ironed out, that's why we're what you guys think we do. Yeah, like we're saying, yes. I myself, I think you should have to purchase gal or something with gal to. And then on top of that is me and I think it was Aaron, we're talking about if you held gal for so many days or whatever, that you would start off with a character that is already like upgraded, to a certain level. Like you'd have a little bit of an advantage from being a holder of gal.
I like that idea.
And that's what we're finding, is it's being more of a them than what they're thinking, is trying to tie it in, because it's very easy to go to an NFT site and upgrade your NFT. It's hard to get an NFT site that is going to allow us to use our tokens for it.
So for me personally, I really like games that kind of give a balance to where either you can spend money to upgrade or you can play a lot to upgrade. I'm thinking of Pokemon Go as having a pretty good balance of where you can feel like you can keep up with, if you don't have a ton of money to spend, you still feel like it's worth playing the game. I don't know. That's
I'm with you. I understand that. I used to play this game. It's called Bootleg. You started off in Russia, whatever. You got like junk cars. You stole cars. You robbed people. You did things, and it was just like, you click, and like sometimes you got thrown in jail, and you'd have to wait 30 seconds, whatever. But you'd earn money, and then with money there was a trading area in it where you go into escrow and you could trade, for the gold coins or whatever they were that real life people were purchasing with real money. But those that played the game enough, they were able to, like, get all these cars, sell them, rob enough people, bootleg, like take whiskey from one town to the next and sell it for profit. And these people built up their natural account. But there's also the people, I won't lie, like myself, that would just go, well, how with this? These people are just killing it. Here's $200. And I could sell it off and become like a bigger player in the game. You know what I'm saying? And that's the ultimate goal, I think we'd like to be. But it becomes a problem of using fiat, where I would love it if it's just all Gallant. Like, you want Gallant, you got, for in-game upgrades, you need to purchase, your B&B or whatever and go that way. I mean, there's a lot behind it. I mean, what do you do with the tokens when they're used in game? Do they get burnt? Do they return to supply?
Yeah, so there's a lot of good ideas out there, and we're definitely looking forward to hashing out those and sharing them with you. We may even have you guys vote on it, like once we finalize, different ways of going about it, we could put in a poll and say, hey, guys, these are the options that we're considering for our play to earn mechanics. What do you think is the best one? Vote on it. And I think that could be good.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we're saying. Once we get closer to it, we'll definitely be having AMAs of like, hey, we're looking at this choice. Do we use all gal? Do we use B&B? Do we use fiat? Do we use like the NFT fighting game is essentially what everybody's really bucking for. I have a feeling that in the big, but we are. I've said this from day one. It's like baby steps. Like okay, we spent X amount of dollars on a marketing plan. If that marketing plan gives us money back, if we make, because as you guys know, the marketing wallet, some people don't realize that the taxes, the sell-offs on the chart that are always like 25 billion tokens, 35 billion tokens. Right now it's set at like it's 12.5 billion and 25 billion. Half of it's going to liquidity, half of it's going to the marketing. We make it a easy thing, but it's like, okay, if we spend $4,000, we essentially need like $80,000 in volume to come back to pay for that $4,000. So it's like baby steps. Like, okay, we spent $4,000 on this, we got $100,000 of volume. We actually made money, so we can make a bigger marketing push next time.
Yeah, and that's really what we're focusing on right now. We've got some other stuff in the works, and we're planning to do more larger marketing pushes as we get closer to our launch dates. We're trying to conserve our spending, guys, but we do have a PR that is coming out soon. Yeah, don't want to give away everything, but we have a couple aces up our sleeves. Some things that other projects have not done. There is a company that I used to work for that's in a particular field of marketing that hasn't really been talked about. And so I'm reaching out to agencies like them to plan something nice, see what we can do. So that's fun. Guys, this is a fun job. We're doing cool stuff. We're making fun stuff, and it's very exciting to be a part of. Yes, Crystal?
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, I thought you were. But no, we're pumped. Thank you for listening in and asking your questions. We
Hey,
will have.
Sam,
Yeah,
Sammy,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Real quick, I must you know, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really have the solution or a pretty good idea now because I know we're just taking baby steps. But I would like for you guys to keep in mind how it's getting here in the states with regulation. So, this being a long-term project, I just wanted to, make sure that you guys had in mind, like, clear utility for the token, just so in the future, when these regulations come, that we don't have a problem getting, getting considered securities or whatnot, whatever's going on here with the whole cryptocurrency situation in the SEC.
We have been in talks with a lot of larger firms to do just that, like what you're speaking of, that will handle it. We do have an LLC. We can take care of anything. We have a tax ID. Everything's there. We have a legit business for the gaming side, straight up. So we can get all that handled. And as you said, a lot of people don't realize it. They just think it's crypto. If you're in the States, every transfer that you do is like a taxable entry and exit point. I found that out. My tax lady told me find somebody else already, but I'm saying for my personal self. But yes, it's there's a lot to that. I agree, and that's what we've we've thrown around the idea of even doing like a not cross chain but cross contract, like that we would burn off so much of our Gallant token to hold another token that would be used in the gaming, because it is you do get into, like you're saying, the SEC and such for that, like every transfer going in and out. How can we avoid that being being like you're trading stocks to upgrade an NFT. You know, it's like how do you avoid that? Because that would actually somewhat be considered a taxable transaction for those that did it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it, yes, but like I said, me and Steve and Sammy have met with, and JH, we have met with quite a few of these people that are talking about like tracking software and how to go about everything.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's just I'm just glad to hear that you guys are on top of that.
Yeah,
You're thinking about that, because
well,
you know how it's getting
won't
down here
lie.
with that.
We had a conversation the other day. Was we look at some of these offshore places. I mean, I don't want to say like trying to avoid the U.S., but yeah, I'm all for it because it just, you know what I'm saying. It throws a whole nother realm in it. Like, okay, if this game that Sammy showed the sneak peek of, if this game has in-app purchases that go through Play Store and iOS, like iTunes, when you purchase something through there, like say it's $1 upgrade, you get taxed on that there. So like we sort of wash our hands of it. Yes, whatever money comes in, that'll be on the company to declare as, income for tax purposes. That's pretty cut and dry. Like it ends with us and it ends with you the moment a purchase is made. But like,
I would,
when you get into the whole trading crypto for upgrades, that does get tricky, and that's what we've
so
ran it. We have no problem dealing with it. It's just like how we're going to deal with it and what makes it the best for
exactly.
our gamers, our token, our holders, like, and that's why, like, I am CFO, whatever, but like when it comes down to the tax limitations of it, I rely on somebody else because they're the ones that read the books every day and know, like, hey, you can do this and you can get away with this, or if you're using it as a utility, no matter, and that's why we're relying on these bigger firms, but they also
Exactly.
a pretty large price.
Me too. I would just also like to add on to what JB is saying. I think you asked a really great question, and I want you to know that that is something that's been at the forefront of our minds for quite some time now. Stephen has said on several occasions, we need to make sure that we, at least at this time, especially while things are tricky with crypto in the States, that we're not considered a security. And so, although we haven't figured out all the mechanics just yet, we are aware of the current the current situations globally and in the States. And we know that it's kind of shaky territory, but we want to make sure that, we are considered a utility token for the games. That's the best way for us to kind of stay safe. And so, obviously, when we're having these discussions and making the decisions about the play to earn mechanics, if they don't check the boxes that we need them to check to make sure that we are like out of harm's way, then those won't be ones that we use. So I just want you to know that we've had this conversation. Stephen has said it so many times that we need to keep the business and the token separate. The token has to be for the game. And so I'm just trying to let you know that that is something that we do think about. And it will be a factor when we make the final decision.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you for taking my question.
You're welcome. Um, and also, I mean, I'll just be honest, just to ad lib a little bit, like we are learning on the job, guys. We are regular people just like y'all, but we're up to the challenge, and so that's why JB said we are consulting the right people. We want to make sure that we get this right because we don't have all the answers. And so, just want to throw that out there, that little reminder that we're just regular people trying to do big things. But we are getting help when we need it. And we will make smart decisions, and we will consult you guys and let you know once those decisions have been made. And for certain decisions that we could use your help on, we will do that. All right. So if no one else has another question, I would love to. Jacob, you want to say something? Oh,
I just have a
okay.
question. There's a comment for purchasable weapons, and I see that there's a comment for the upgrading weapons that we just answered. Uh, will there be a player-based economy? So we have a game-based economy, which is where you purchase weapons from, and then probably upgrade your weapons from. But will there be a specific player-based economy so players can just interact with each other and do trades and transfers and whatever they would like to do for services, even, or whatever?
Okay, you said that really fast, Jacob.
Okay, so I see that there was a question for purchasing weapons. I see that we just talked about upgrading weapons, which is more of a client side. But is there going to be a player-based economy where players are able to purchase weapons from each other? They're able to exchange gear or whatever other type of services that the game offers.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, does anyone think that that's a good idea? Is it something that we should consider?
I personally think it's a good idea because you see all of those major games, they're always like, why can't I exchange gear with someone else? They got what I need, or they're like, well, I don't need this anymore and I want to get rid of it. I think having a player-based economy that is with the client side economy, in my opinion, would be really smart.
Okay, I'm taking notes here. Awesome. Well, what we can do is, we will start to have more conversations about this to get more definitive answers, and we'll look to give you guys more details because obviously, you guys want this information, and so we'll light a fire under our butts and try to get these answers for you a little bit quicker. Um, Anyone else have any other questions?
Vadant's
Or
like the character avatar weapons we make purchase in game, we can sell those as NFTs to other players or maybe an auction or something. Yes, we are looking at hosting all this on Paradox NFT. We're hoping Leo's going to have everything up and running, which that's a whole nother thing. That is Paradox NFT is in beta. I've used it. A couple of us have used it, went through. It is working. It is functioning, and we just waiting on them to finalize it. But yes, Vedant, they were asking that, and we spoke of that because your upgradable NFT, like you're saying, like you upgrade it so much, and you can sort of set the market price on it. Of you put all the time into it, you've won so many battles, you've upgraded so much, and you could sell off that NFT. Because that's what we've spoke of, is doing multiple NFTs. Like we're gonna have, like you're not, people probably aren't just gonna enter the game with one NFT. You're gonna have a couple characters. Who knows? I mean, I've thought about this itself, and this is where I won't lie. I need like JH more because he is a big driving factor of the gaming side of how are you going to fight? Like, are you going to be able to? It's just going to be a random one. Like, if I go to fight, is there a chance I might be fighting my own NFT? I mean, and that's something like that we need to figure out with the developers.
right.
There is still a lot to be done over there on the NFT side, and it, like we said, it's all in the works, and we're hoping to be getting a lot more of it done. But we have had, it's been like well, what did he say last night, Sammy? He's pretty much out for like 10 days now.
Yeah. So but we're not going to let that stop us.
Right, and that's as we mentioned earlier, is we're looking to onboard some more people to, because we always like beating the deadline that we set, you know.
That's true.
And to be honest, we never really set a deadline on this. We had goals in mind of where we want to be along it, and we were doing all right. And now I can tell you right now, the core team, like, it was a big sigh last night when we were talking with these guys of, wow, like, we really need to speed this up, because it seemed to be okay on pace, and now it's getting behind in our expectations.
Right. So we're doing something about it. I just want you guys to know that your voices are heard, your questions are heard, and we're listening. So we're gonna get the information that you asked for. Just give us a little bit of time. But I've taken some notes from this AMA based on your suggestions and the questions that people ask the most. And we'll get to work on that on Monday. Right now, I'm finishing up on the website, and I'm working on some NFT stuff.
Vedant wrote something in here also about the farming. I don't know how many people are active in our farm or understand how it works. It is somebody that's asking for old tokens. Add it as a new token. It's just funny that however many days we are old, that people are just coming in going, I have old gal still in my wallet. Okay. But anyways, I don't know how many people are involved in the farm, use the farm. It's unbelievable how Pad made this farm work. Pad swap. It's their perpetual liquidity, which means when you enter, you lose 10%. No doubt. Sorry. I mean, that's how it works, but it's giving 1% a day. So essentially, more or less, after 20 days, you broke even again, because that is what the farm was at 1%. We donated another like $2,600 of LP the other day to bring it back up. The farm works is you make LP tokens, which means you pair equal value BNB. If you want to buy, just throwing numbers out there, if it's 80 billion tokens for one BNB, I don't know what it really is, but I'm just using this as an example. You throw out one BNB for 80 billion tokens. If you wanted to pair 40 billion of them, you only buy half BNB, and you use your other half of BNB and you pair them together to make LP tokens. Your LP token then can be entered into the farm where it's getting 1% a day. I know there's quite a few people in the farm, because I can see there's a lot of them that are reinvesting daily, because you can reinvest, you can withdraw, you can
Hey,
do it.
JB.
Yes.
Hey, JB. Jacob wrote a note in the chat. I think they were talking about farming in the game.
Oh, as in farming in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, that's something that's come up.
We have addressed that, staking your NFTs, and yeah, I mean, it's how far are we going to go with this? As in, you stake your NFT, what do you get out of it? Do you get gal? Do you get, there's a lot to it, man. I mean, there's most places that allow you to stake NFTs, they don't have much. And that's the thing. If anybody has any NFT games that has staking, has stuff like that, we like seeing their visions and seeing what they're doing. Not saying we're going to exactly copy it, but we are always looking out for the better interest of the team and our investors, like you guys, the people that are the holders. And that was one of the biggest reasons we went with Pad Swap. Pad Swap farming gave everybody like a great advantage. You're not going to find many places out there that you're going to get over 100% APY, which ours is like 240 or 250% APY. And we've reached out to him about staking just regular gal as well. But as far as the NFT, I I don't know. That's something, Sammy. If you could write that down for future questions to ask him. I know I know James mentioned something of it, but I won't lie. That's so new to me. I don't even know about staking NFTs. Like what are you getting? If like you because most staking places make you stake for X amount of days. Um,
Oh, it's something to consider for sure. That was a good question, though. This was really good for me. JB, do you have anything else you want to add?
no, I'm pretty good unless anybody else has any questions.
Um, all right, if there are no other questions, does anyone have a really good first time crypto experience story that they want to share?
Yeah, Safe Moon.
Okay, tell us.
Safe Moon. This is my first year in crypto, and I found Safe Moon, and it was super sketchy. Like the website was crap, and like I knew about all these other projects that I was invested in, but I was just looking for another, for just a shit coin, and I invested. I think it was like $500. And when nothing happened in a few weeks, it was like nobody knew about the token. The website wasn't. It was just crap. So as the token started to move, I kept taking off the top.
Okay.
Just any moment it could crash or whatever. And it ended up being from like the 500. It ended up being like close to 4 grand, which was awesome. It was
Wow.
my first time seeing that kind of money in an investment that quick. But then I read an article last month, maybe early July, saying that if you had invested $1,000 in SafeMoon and not touched it in March, which is when I invested my 500, it would have been worth $1 million today. Meaning that if I hadn't done anything, just left it in there, it would have been $500,000.
Oh, wow.
So
That's awesome.
le- lesson learned about holding, um, because that would have I missed out on a pretty penny there.
I'm
Right?
I'm looking somewhere. I had a Safe Moon wallet. A gentleman that come in and invested with us. It was very interesting to see that his, $38 was worth like 380,000, and this was past,
Yeah,
well past the like 420, days of it being. That was like the biggest the market was around like April 20th. A lot of tokens all made it then. Elon days, whatever you want to call it.
yeah, yeah. That
My
that was
first,
that was
I was gonna say my first coin is also SafeMoon. I invested $1,000. Have never sold. It's currently worth 300. So
Uh,
Oh my gosh.
and I'm with you on that one. I was the same way. Like not my first token, but I bought into SafeMoon, and yes, I made like 3-4x. And I was just like, okay, well, look at all these other projects that are going on. So I took my money out of there, not all of it, but I also watched that grow like substantially, like huge money. Like $10,000 off of nothing. And I just sort of forgot about it. I never took profits. I never did anything, and it was just like I go back to look at it, and I'm like you, going, yeah, that just my little bit of money that I had in there that was worth 10K is now worth, well, the little bit of money or less now. It's like I really wish I would have took that out.
hmm.
Oh.
Guys,
Do you?
I have one more that I have. Did you guys hear about Kishu Inu?
Yes.
I was in that one too. Okay, after SafeMoon, I bought $250 worth, or maybe 400. And it just sat there. This time I wasn't gonna do anything. Because I thought I learned my lesson with SafeMoon. I went to Florida for a wedding, And my friend calls me saying, "Hey, what are you gonna do with Kishuino?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I look at my wallet, and like the $400 or whatever, it was like at $4,000, and it just kept going up and up and up. And I'm at this wedding, and I'm wasted, right? And I'm like, "Holy crap! What am I supposed to?" It went up all the way up to $14,000 from like $400. So in the meantime, me trying to sell it and everything, the fees were crazy. I ended up by the time I sold and with the fee, Kishu Inu fee that they did and the Ethereum fees, I ended up with like 7 grand. Okay. And this was back in May. So I took my 7 grand, I took it in Ethereum, and I don't know if you guys remember what happened to Ethereum in May. By the time I got back from like vacation, Ethereum crashed because I took out like 4 grand per Ethereum, and yeah, it left me from like 14 grand all the way down to like $3,000.
Oh my gosh.
Like I said, still good or whatever, but you know, it could have been friggin' way better.
So
Tiny.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jacob.
I hate to keep stroking your guys' ego, but I'll do a little bit of a prelude and then I'll go into my experience. So I've been in a lot of altcoins and I've been in a lot of some of the not per se altcoins, but it's still it's not Bitcoin, it's not Ethereum, and I've been in some projects that seem very promising, but when you deal with the CEO and deal with the people like the admins, even though it has a promising future, you don't see its future because of the way the admins and the way the CEO and everybody that's involved present themselves. I have never been in a project like Gallant when it comes to the leadership. You guys are so professional, and you guys are so just the way you guys present yourselves to us, and the way you talk to us, and the way you interact with us. I had another word that I was trying to say, but I forgot what it was because I'm driving. But either way, the whole way you guys are in dealing with us and the project and updating us is beyond incomparable to other CEOs and other altcoins that I've been in. So I really hope that when we do start trending, you guys, you stay the same way you guys are, which is you're very involved in the community, talking with us, doing AMAs, very friendly. Because I've been in a very similar coin to this, not like this coin's making a movie, but which it has good potential. But when it comes to the CEO of it, it's like night and day between you guys. Like you guys, the way you guys are so open about it, and you guys are so understanding, and you're willing to listen, compared to someone who thinks that they already know everything and they don't need any help and everything's going fine and just throw money at things. Like even with your guys' understanding of like CoinGecko, like okay, well CoinGecko is just people come and pump and dump, and we don't really need that because what we're trying to do is we're trying to actually build something. Comparatively, someone who is trying to just show high numbers to convince more people to get in, and that's all. That's all I really want to say is out of my whole experience in the crypto, um, like I said, like there's been times where it's a good project but it's bad CEOs, and so I don't even hold. I'm like, I could get a lot of money off this, but I'm not going to hold because with the leadership involved, it's not going to go anywhere. But with you guys, it's a great project and great leadership, and I have there's never been a doubt in my mind like, oh, I think I might sell because it's going up. That's never crossed my mind with you guys. And I just wanted to make sure you guys know that we do appreciate you, and you guys are a step above the rest when it comes to how you interact with us.
Oh, Jacob, you're awesome. Thanks, man. That really means a lot to us. We don't, I mean, I'll speak for myself personally. I don't take that kind of stuff for granted. It really means a lot. Our reputation is everything. And so thank you. Thank you very much for that.
I mean, I'll look around and throw it out to all the holders that, we had a discussion last night. Sammy knows exactly what I'm talking about. Is they were asking us, hey, if your chart goes below this, I'm like, you understand, like we diamond hand holders, legit diamond hand holders. These people, the chart went down the other day. We've had more buys than sells. Chart's going down because BNB's a drunken bastard that I really get upset with, and China's banning crypto again for the 19th time this year. But it's we do have some true holders that do believe in the project, and that's what keeps it strong. I mean, I remember in Gal 1, we had a guy that flat out said it. He goes, you know what the problem is with your project is you guys have too many diamond hand holders. Because a lot of these people did understand the value of getting in early. You know, it's like one of those set it and forget it things and come back and see where I am in 3 months.
Right.
And I'm all in for the people, the Moon Boys, whatever, because we need cells. I won't lie. That's the only way the cells work. Like, that's the only way the contract makes money. If you guys go and look right now, there are 2 cells in the chart. Some person had like 2.8 billion tokens or whatever it was, 2.6 billion tokens of old Gal that I just sent them new Gal tokens. You know, we said we were only going to do it for 30 days, but whatever. It's only, you know, like $8 worth tokens. But we sent them to them. But that triggered the contract because it had so many tokens sitting on it. When all the files occur, your fees go in there. And I mean, anybody that ever wants to know, you can shoot me a message, post in here. I'll post a link. You can see the contract, how many tokens the contract's holding in it. It's swap and liquefy function. And it's set right now for, I think it was, you know, 50 billion tokens. Once it hits that mark, it sells off. You're going to see it 25 billion sell. That went directly to marketing, which I in turn took and used the marketing wallet. And I bought tokens back just to like, so it didn't hurt the chart, you know. And then the one made liquidity. So I mean, we always have the better interest of everybody, but you need cells to activate that swap and liquefy, because when we go on a big green candle, all that contract is doing is loading up those 10% taxes, and it just sits in there until somebody sells, and then it'll sell off like the 50 billion tokens, and that's why it shows the 2 sales, because that is the way it's set now.
It's very interesting. Thanks, JB, for that. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Does anyone else want to say anything before we conclude our AMA? All right. Well, I guess we can stop the recording. Go ahead and stop the recording.